She signed up, I don't know, many years ago, and it just wasn't the right time. And now she's back. She's re-signed, and she is back living in the Virgin Islands and intends to take the Tower Gardens to the Virgin Islands because 98% of the food is highly priced.
Imported.
Yeah.
Well, that is super,
Mhm.
super exciting. I'm gonna mute. I'm working on the live stream stuff, Sharon.
Okay,
So
I've got
I'll
us
tell you.
live streaming to YouTube public, and then Doug's going to take that into Team Transformers, hopefully. So anyway, here we've got some more people coming on. So Beth, ever since we got back from conference, we added a lunch and learn on Thursday. So I'm hoping everybody's in the groove of Thursday. We had one on Monday, but anyway, it's a long story. We had it on Sunday. So we're getting back in the groove, but we are super excited to always be together and to share what's going on. There are so many things going on. It's hard to keep up, you know? There is an event at 1, just so you guys know, and hopefully you're keeping track in Voxer. Let me just see what that one was. That one is all about having a successful Juice Plus event. Okay, and that's with Carrie Lynn Nietko and Margie DeHaze. So hopefully you've seen this flyer. So right after this is that, and the company is really stepped forward in helping the field. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they have really like what 300 to 500% helped us. So they're offering that. They've also got a new thing next week, I think it is, where I don't think I have that flyer in here yet, but they're going to have like a wellness presentation followed by a business presentation for us. And so that's going to be awesome too. And that's, I think, May 1st. Then in between, there's some Luminate events. So if you're not in Team Transformers Voxer, it's going to be hard to keep up with all those events. We do also post them on Facebook, Team Transformers. So just try to keep up, and there'll be recordings and things like that. Okay, so our team is named Team Transformers because we are transforming people's lives. And so we are excited to hear more stories of transformation. And we're going to hear from Beth Leopold. First, I think we would love to probably hear how everybody's experiencing Luminate. And I'm sure Beth's going to share about her Luminate. But let's hear about the new product. Does anybody have any stories that they would like to share? Go ahead, Deborah.
So I'm someone who has a benign heart murmur. And if I do any caffeine, tea, coffee, chocolate, even in particular quantities, my heart tap dances in my chest and it's uncomfortable. It's not a problem medically, but it's uncomfortable. So I was a bit concerned about that. And so I did a half a sachet in a large glass of water, like 12 ounces of water. And I certainly I enjoyed the clarity of mind and the ability to stay focused because I also have been diagnosed with ADD of the inattentive type as an adult. And that really helped me in my day. And I had no heart palpitations. And I've done that twice. And same thing, I enjoyed a day of clear thinking for extended periods of time without a lot of distraction. And so and it's really tasty. And I use it with Topo Chico fizzy water. And like you said, Sharon, put the sachet in first and then the fizzy water so it doesn't explode. And that's been good. It's been a good experience.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Deborah. Appreciate it. And I have the same issue. If I have too much caffeine, I'm like it's like you get anxiety in your throat and stuff. And I don't experience that with Luminate. So that's awesome. I love that you've had a good experience because I remember you were hesitant in ordering it. Okay, who else?
I've Aaron and I have really been enjoying it. He also has diagnosed ADD and is doing a doctorate program right now. So, I've told him he can just take it, but he still asks me for it. And it has been incredible for him to focus. Like I was telling someone the other day, we talked Sunday morning, he took Illuminate, and I don't think I talked to him for the rest of the day. Like he hyper focused and did his work. And Sharon, since you like Mama Carol, my mom, our mom, I text her today. I'm like, hey, did you get your Illuminate? How's it going? And she's like not sure on the flavor. And then I said, well, you can do X, Y, or Z. And I said, have you noticed anything? And she texts me back, who is this?
She texted you back, who is this?
Yeah, because it's supposed to help mental clarity and focus. And she was like pretending she was the opposite. And I was like, okay, you almost got me.
That
But
is funny.
she liked it. She was really excited to use it. So I'll keep everyone posted how she's doing with it.
Yes, I'm gonna buy some for my mom. Doug doesn't know. I decided this morning, I'm like, I'm sending some to my mom. She needs it. So I think it can help all kinds of people. We've seen amazing things with our daughter who now went and played pickleball last night. Like she's getting out and about, and if that's what it does for her, yay. So I know some people feel a lot happier on Luminate. Anybody else have some good experiences that they want to share?
Well, I do, just because I was kind of stuck in this cycle of having to take a nap every afternoon for the last year, and that's done. It doesn't. It's not even necessary anymore. Although I do think it gives me a lot of energy, so I kind of go on my Luminate days or my Luma days. So then eventually I do need what we affectionately call a Luminap, which means like you're just physically tired, even if your brain's still going. So yesterday was the Luminap day.
Okay. All right. Well, I love it. I think it has energized the whole business, so take advantage, get your Luminate, get extra, share it with people. I was hesitant to share it with one of my customers. I'm like, I'm sending you two. He's like, is that enough for me to know? I'm like, well, I don't know. I almost thought about sending you three, but I didn't want to send you my Luminate. And he's like, well, you need to share in order for people to buy. And I'm like, okay, you're right. So anyway, try not to be too stingy with your Luminate like like I am. I want all our Luminate. So I'm gonna order more boxes. Anyway, so we've got Beth Leopold here, and Beth and I have known each other for years. I don't know how many. But she is amazing, and she's on a very sideline team that does things different than us. Although I think our whole company has just shared so much that we're all very much on the same page, same mission. It's just, and the same big ideas. It's just how we implement things that are different. And so I think for a while, Beth and team may not have been on Voxer. I don't know if they are now. We're going to find out. We're going to be able to ask her questions. She is a 100 club NMD, which is pretty spectacular. That doesn't mean she just has 100 team members. That means she has at the very least, 100 qualifiers. She probably has hundreds more. Who knows? But they stopped saying it after 100. And so I'm going to just fantasize. I'm sure she has more. And she is someone who has won Elton Awards. I've been nominated for them, but she has actually won them because she's got the numbers and everything to back her up. She was honored as a 24 Club Member of the Year, 39 Club Member of the Year. She is married to Eric, who is a retired lieutenant from Sarasota County Fire Department, and joins Beth in the business. So I want to hear about that also. Doug and I did our talk last night on the men's call. So if you didn't get to listen to that, it really made me appreciate our journey and how, having a couple doing this business together is pretty amazing. So I want to hear about that too, Beth. And they have two children that play college basketball. I love basketball. Their family has been on Juice Plus for 17 years, and they travel full time in a motor coach RV, hitting all 50 states and sharing Juice Plus and the Tower Garden and probably Illuminate everywhere they go. So let's hear from Beth. Let's hear a general story and as much as you want to share. And then you guys in the audience, please get your questions ready because I am so honored to have Beth on here with us sharing.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your messages. I'm glad I'm here. And I'm I'm excited about Luminate also. I love it warm. I like to drink like warmer things digestively, so I'm really enjoying it like warm in the middle of the afternoon. But I do a half a pack for me, and I and that works, and I'm happy with. I can do a half a pack and might do a little later. So I kind of like keep my luminate going throughout the day, and that seems to be working for me. So I think it's great. I think that it's just, I had said, at conference, it's opening another door to our business. We've got our capsule door, our soft chews, our tower garden. And my kids are both, have played, they've been athletes, they play college ball. So we've had some really good talks about energy drinks, and it's been really neat. And they both join us in the business too, and are starting their customer base and building teams. So that's fun. But I wanted to share, especially now that my daughter just finished 6 years of college ball. She just finished grad school at University of Tampa, and she's now adulting. And so she really loves her Juice Plus check every month. And we're just continue to talk about that growing. And her coaches in her sports and the schools she's been at are actually on her team and our customers, and they were customers and joined the team. So you just never know where that's going to go. And it's all about, I keep telling her at 23, it's all about building relationships with people and, staying in the game and never, this Juice Plus business goes with you all the time, no matter where you are in life or things that happen. People are watching. Don't give up, because you don't know who you're going to talk to 3 years from today, and where it's going to go. So I just want to share at least why I joined Juice Plus and a little bit about my product and business story. I was actually teaching a fitness class, like it was 17 years ago, and a mom came to my class and shared Juice Plus with me. I actually owned a pre and postnatal fitness business for 15 years, or for 8 years. And she said, "Hey, I went to like this seminar at church and they talked about it, and I wanted your opinion." So she wasn't in the business, and I listened to Dr. Du Bois CD. And at the time, Audra, my daughter, had been diagnosed with epilepsy. So I was just looking for some proactive ways to keep her healthy. I loved that she could be free. And I thought, well, why not? And so I actually randomly called someone in our town who I had no relationship with, and joined the business, and became a customer the same day. So you never know when you're going to get that phone call or when someone's going to join your team. So take good care of them. Our company gives us the leads program. Since that time, she actually left the business. So then I went to my next upline sponsor, which was Chris and David Drobes. And I know they're over, they do a lot of events and things with Julie and things like that in Florida. So let me just tell you how that started. I became a customer and a partner the same day. I didn't really know much. The person that I signed up with wasn't a big business builder. And so for about 2 years, I just had some customers I was sharing with, moms and people, and I didn't really know how the business worked or anything like that. I loved the product, and my mom wanted to get on it. So fast forward 2 years, as we never know how we're going to wake up and life's going to change. Eric was a fire lieutenant with Sarasota County. He hadn't had a pay raise in 7 years. We had another brick and mortar, like a landscape concrete business. We, on our side, we poured landscape curbing. It was a side business that he did. So I did all the estimates and ran the office, taught classes, and did part-time physical therapy. And the kids were 3 and 6. And when the recession hit, I don't know what year exactly it was, 2009, 7, something like that, the last time. All I just know is I don't want to go back there, but the things that happen in your life, transform you and make you who you are today. So that's why I love my story. And our business, we ended up selling the business. Times were tight. The people forfeited on the loan. And I was on our front porch the day that we got our foreclosure papers for our home that we had built. So, Eric was severely depressed. He hadn't had a raise. We were burnout. We were running, working, all the things we thought we would do. I was 33 years old, so that my kids were 3 and 6. And I ended up signing up a team member who ended up being my first national marketing director, Courtney Kersey. And I met her at school and I didn't know what I was doing, but Chris had come over for an event and we decided to go, and I met her. And Courtney said, let's go to a conference. I think we should look into this. I think we should do it. And I says, well, I don't like to fly. And so that was one of my things back then. I was, had issues with that, and we didn't have money. We were actually deciding to file bankruptcy. I had about 10 debt collector calls calling me a day from this thing that went crazy with finances, which I feel like, that's why I share the product in the business all the time, because you never know what someone is going to be going through, in a kind way, to know that there's an opportunity and we have something for them. So keep that door open. And so Courtney said, let's do a wellness event. So it's like one wellness events I had in my home. And we also sold gold. We sold our gold. It was a really big time where you could sell your gold. And so we did it. People brought their gold. We did a wellness event. We each made $600 and we both went to conference for the first time. And I went in there as a very minimal sales coordinator. I kind of worked my way slowly, just having customers and a few teammates. Back then we didn't get any bonus money. And what happened is I went to conference and I heard the stories. I think it was Lauren LaHave did her NMD speech at that first conference that I went to. And I came back and I met Chris for the first time. So I met the upline sponsor. Remember what it's like when you meet an upline sponsor that maybe you've heard on the phone, that we really got connected. And I got some time with her and she said, call me on Monday. We're going to nail this down. You're going to nail your why down. And so she had me write out my why. I actually typed it out on the computer. And I remember typing it out like it was the other day. And it was basically like, I wanted to, I never wanted to feel this way again. I never wanted to feel financially strapped. I don't like the type of person that, if I can't go do something or get something or want something, that someone's telling me no. Luckily I've had an amazing husband who's always supported me in these things. And, but I want to have control of that. That's just something that really means a lot to me. And I don't know if that's because I'm an only child or independent, but when you start to think about these things and build your why gives you motivation. And my why was, we're filing foreclosure and bankruptcy, and this is one step, or here is my Juice Plus re-signing my application, and here is the future of what it could build for us. And I went to my husband and I said, I've got my why in my one hand and my foreclosure papers in the other, and we're going to do this. And 17 months later, I hit NMD. So 3 conferences later, I went to work with what Chris told me to do to build a 6-figure income, shared passionately. And the times were tight with people. These were times where people were all strapped. Homes were in, short sale, foreclosure. So those times are coming again. I feel like this is the time I grew. There's people out there hungry for this. And that's why I always said, I'm going to find a way to always share my product and business story at the same time, because it's so powerful. And if Juice Plus makes sense to people, it'll make sense to other people. And why not join our business? You don't know what's out there waiting for you. So it changed our life. And I did everything she did. It was hugely team building. Okay. Because I always say one customer adds one order, where a new team member can add thousands of orders, hundreds of orders that they can go around. And that's what built. And I, Sharon will ask me, she knows I've only had about 2 events in my home, but my tool for me, my biggest tool, because the kids wanted to play college sports. So we homeschooled, and then we traveled to Tampa, and then we did all these things for them to be able to get college, scholarships and open up opportunities for them, that my phone was my best friend. My phone was the best thing, was picking up a phone and doing a 3-way conversation and validating people and learning that skill test, that tactic, because my team started growing out of Florida. It was, it was like Texas, it was, Michigan, it was Pennsylvania, it was, different areas, Maryland. So I couldn't go do all these events for these people. So I had to get them strong and teach them the system. And that's why I love the power of the 3-way phone call. It's my thing. I wasn't a phone person, but you learn from your uplines, and you guys all have great uplines, and you see how easy you can be anywhere. When people hear your voice and your passion, it's powerful. And that's how you get people quickly into your business and your team. And you can be anywhere on that phone. I could be on vacation. I could be on a school bus. I could be, now we're RVing, and I've got to just be able to have that phone. I can't show up everywhere. And that's it. And that was it. Then we had 100 Club, and it's built a legacy. When Eric was 45, we were able to retire him from the fire department. And so we fully are a Juice Plus family, and we've been that way for quite a few years. And it just keeps getting better. Just stay committed. So that's my story: foreclosure, bankruptcy, the legacy,
Wow.
and what this company has given us.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. I don't think anybody would have thought that, right? From bankruptcy to 100 Club. Wow. So I would love for you guys to ask her some questions. I know I have questions, but I'd rather you guys ask what's on your mind. What could help you the most to ask Beth, or what role play? We could even do a role play, because she's the queen of three-way calls. That's something that popped in my mind, but let's ask her some questions. She lives in an RV, right? I mean, don't you have some questions for her? I'm going to be silent.
Yes. And real quick, we went RV full time when Dawson went to Virginia. We went full time in RV. It was on my dream vision board in the beginning. We always wanted to. Eric and I both were like that. We sold the house, everything, and we said we're going to go, travel all 50 states. And it's been 3 years, and we really honestly have no desire to go back yet into a house. Like, we love it. We meet people. It's freeing. You don't have a lot of stuff. And this fits so great. If you were to go out right now in our community where we are stationed at the point, there's 7 people with tower gardens out here. I was just going through counting them. So it's been fun to see the RV world come into tower gardens. Yeah, think about it. Especially all the people that have gone full time, if they own a little piece of a property, they're not going to be gardening. A tower is an amazing thing for them. It's cool.
So how long do you stay in one place with the RV?
Sure. So we actually have a home base in South Carolina, so we keep our tower garden. But I know people that, if they're sometimes they go stay for 3 months somewhere, the full-time families that go, you can, break it down, put it underneath. I know people that have put it in their shower and traveled to the next spot and put it outside. So there's lots of ways that you can make it work.
Okay, so they put it in their shower and then they bring it along. Okay, so let's go ahead and hear from a couple people, Nalani and then Melissa.
Hi, Beth. Thank you so much. I love your story. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful and I love the fact that our leaders, our top leaders in the company, have the time and the compassion to share with everyone, and just to be so giving and so open. So my first question, I wrote it down. First of all, I have 3 questions and they're all related. How do you efficiently onboard, especially, well, I know you're using the 3-way calls, but when you actually get a new person and you want them onboarded, how do you do that first? And then the second is, how do you successfully get them to QSC? I think Partner Plus is really ridiculous. I mean,
Right. Well,
you get to
what I love about QSC is you need a partner. So we talk about that right away. You need a partner to get to QSC, and the more partners you have, the easier this journey is. So honestly, we do a launch, and it's really been the same launch. Travis said at the last conference for leadership, we have to go back to the basics. And the basics really are, we're still people. You know what? I always say, you have to identify their why, getting to know the person, ask questions. What is going to get them out in a bed in the morning to do this? Also, too, building a trust with you is crucial. So getting them in a rhythm of talking to you, that they can't just go do this by themselves. Because I always say, when we get off this call today, are you going to feel more inspired? I've given you some ideas. And they're like, yes, it's always so great to talk to you. I say, that's why we talk. Even if it's 3 minutes at a time or life happens, you got to hear the energy, and I want to help you through this. So identifying their why is crucial. And it was always in the starter guide. Okay. Because if I feel like if you can identify a why that makes you cry and gets you up, it gives you motivation. You can't just tell someone to be motivated. They've got to have something to work for in their life to be motivated, their hopes, their dreams. And they may have never done that before. They may be thinking that their their monthly paycheck is just the way it is. So number one, identify their why. Okay. The next thing is what are they going to say to people? It's a product and business story. What are they going to say? Let's talk about it. Why does Juice Plus make sense to you? Ask them, because you say, okay, so now who are you going to share with? Well, if they don't know what to say, they're not going to share with anything. It's the basics, right? We've all heard this, identify their why. Hopefully there's some maybe verbiage I give you that you can ask them or tweak that you can get comfortable with. What's their product and business story? Why do they love the product? Why would they want to be a partner and not just a customer? I say that all the time. I don't want someone to say, oh, just because I wanted the discount. No, let's dream bigger, you guys. It's not just about a discount, because if it's just about a discount, be a customer and I'll take good care of you. But you really think about it, you need quite a few handful of orders to pay for your own Juice Plus. Now, especially if you want to be on the Quad and Illuminate and all of our great things. All right. So painting that vision for them, working alongside of them, building trust. And then, so their why, their product, and then contact with me. How are we going to stay connected? How are we going to talk? If you don't hear from them in a few days, I'll pick up the phone and say, listen, I just want to talk. Like, let's talk through some things. Tell me what you've been thinking, so it's just basic stuff like that. And I tell them what the points are and where the points need to go. I don't want them to worry too much about all the technical stuff of Juice Plus. Where to find some basic videos, and they can ask me some questions too back. I don't want them spending time on boards and time on all this stuff. What does Jay Martin say? The first thing is that we get people to talk and talk and talk and talk, and that they're comfortable with it. And that's it. So we tend to overcomplicate things way too much. There's a lot of stuff. We have a lot of great resources, but people are spending too much time on thinking that they have to be an expert versus going into their heart and helping them to get some wins in the beginning. All right. So hopefully those three things. And a lot of times we get that done on a phone call. Like I'll launch let's just say Sharon was frontline to me and she added a new partner today. We'd get on the phone together and maybe do that launch. So they would hear my story, then they would know her story already. And then we can really zone them in to, let's talk about your why, those types of things. So it's a process. Someone that you don't know takes a little bit of time because they have to build trust with you. And, someone you do know may have that trust component and they might not all be ready. But that is how I launch someone. And I usually love to do it over the phone. I would go meet people too, but I also want to teach my downline how to efficiently do it over the phone. That's me, because I'm not going to be able to go to coffee shops and meet people for lunch and do all that. And nowadays people are really they're time crunched. If you go launch someone and spend 2 hours at lunch talking to them, they're going to say, now I have to go do that to get new people on the phone. Yeah. So, okay. So did that help answer that? So it was the why, their product and business story, and the importance of you working with them, going to work with them, and staying connected.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then the last one was duplication, which you covered.
Yeah. Yeah. So the only thing I teach them how points, if you put in a trio, it's 300 points. Okay. How many do you need to get to the first position? They're like 900. I said, perfect. You know how to do math. I said, okay. So if you get, 3 people that have 300, and then if you add team, you get all those points. It's the best thing ever. So we're just going to keep going through and we're just going to do that. Okay. And duplication is key. You build this, wide and deep, and you're set for life.
So when you call it a launch call, is that basically like a welcome call and getting started, not
Yes.
inviting friends and family? That's different for
Correct.
you.
Yes, this is so as soon as someone signs up, we try to do that one-on-one welcome launch, call, get going, introduce them. So like if it was you were bringing me someone, Sharon, you would hear how I do it. So you'd be listening and learning. And then I would be really diving into the new person And then that taught Sharon then how to go do the next, work down in her line. So, and I try to keep it to 30 minutes to honor people's time. If they've got more questions, we can take it over to, Voxer, which I don't use a lot, but it is another way, or we can, set up a 3-way text message, or I use a lot of Facebook Messenger sometimes because they're on it. I like that tool.
So, you also do a friends and family call.
Yeah, that's one of the first
Still do
things.
it?
So that's what I try to get out of the launch call right away is who's on there, who do they love, who do they care about. We talk about that. We talk about that person, and how they might invite them. And then I say one of the tools we have several tools, not that you can't do a wellness presentation, but you can only invite the people in your town. And that's good. But what about all the other people you love? Let's get a family and friends call on right away. And I'll do the presentation. You share the story. And let's tell everyone what you're doing and that they really feel good with me. And they know, like, okay, Beth has been in this 17 years. My sponsor's been in this longer. I can answer all their questions, ask, for their support. And that can be a call or a Zoom.
I was gonna say, nowadays, I know you did phone call, friends and family. Beth is who we got our friends and family call from. And the outline, I was furiously writing when she was telling me she's been so generous all these years. And so, she's the one that helped us get the friends and family call. And so nowadays you're saying you might also do a Zoom. Do you do an actual PowerPoint during the Zoom?
Sometimes I just share my photos and do like 3 or 4 photos. It's
Okay.
and then, not a lot. I want to make it really easy. I don't want anyone to, I want it to be duplicated. I want it to look simple. Cause remember, if you have a big event and have all this stuff over, the people that come think, well, I have to do this in order to do this business. And it's not like that. There's different. And don't get me wrong, I love, we've had wellness presentations, not at my home. I don't like having, well, I've never been a home person, but we would go to places and do them. But you can only do the people that are in your town. You're missing out on all the other people you know.
Mm-hmm. Right, especially if they're new, they know so many people.
So that builds their confidence doing a friends and family call. The sponsor gets to answer their questions, and it's a win-win.
And what's your turnaround on that? I usually, if I'm talking to somebody on a Tuesday, I usually say, well, let's try for Sunday. Do you do it on a Sunday?
I'd say within a week. I say let's talk about timeframes. I do sometimes Sunday evenings are nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we kind of talk and see what's what's their community like? Like, are they a bunch of moms? Like, do they have to make sure their kids go to bed? Everyone, we talk about it.
Okay, so let's go to Melissa now. She had a question, and you guys keep the questions coming. I love learning from Beth Leopold. She's got it mastered, you guys. So come on, let's go. Let's go with the questions. Melissa?
Melissa.
Hey, Beth. Thank you. By the way, I love your shirt. I love those shoulders.
Oh, thanks.
So this is just a personal question because my husband will want to know how your Wi-Fi is working when you're traveling, because RV is on his wish list.
Yes. Well, am I okay today? Am I good? There's so many ways to do internet. There's Starlink. There's, I have a company out of Tennessee and it's unlimited Wi-Fi. That was one of my concerns too. I'm like, I got to be able to have my phone. And well, my phone would do anything, but yes, we have traveled 27 out of 50 states so far. We'll head west again in July and hit lots of others. And we've done really good. Yep, technology is great.
You have something else, something actually on your RV?
Yes, it's actually, I actually have a unit it's called RVIT Guy, and they're out of Tennessee, and it scans between Verizon, T-Mobile, and, but Starlink can go satellite. There's lots of people are working on the roads, cool. And that's another great thing. People that want an RV full time want to know what they can do on the road to work, and we have something for them. We have something.
Okay. And then my Juice Plus specific question, and I forget the names of the upline who got you started, but someone took you from SC and was like, these are the steps you want to do. And that's where I am. I got their customer, the customer track, have some team, have recycled team, really want to get people that are moving. But like, what would you consider, if you recall what they had you do, or what would you think are like 2 to 3 moves that really would help me move forward?
Okay, perfect. Great question. I love it. So, I thought, okay, well, 1 out of 5 people do this business. Okay. I know that, 1 out of 5. So if you bring on 5 partners, it's 1 out of 5. It's the numbers that Jim Rohn talks about years ago. It's just the way it is. It doesn't mean some of those others won't come back, but I knew that I needed to have 5 frontline qualified lines to be an NMD. And I needed 3 people in POB frontline. So I knew that I needed 5 people that at least I wanted to get to sales coordinator and be qualified. And things were back then were even a little harder than they are today to get there. So my thing was, okay, how many months do I have? I need to bring on 5 people a month. My goal was 5 new teammates a month because I knew out of those 5, I could get 1. All right. So team buildings, even today, I just talked to the team. We're like we're on a thing. We're like, we're going to get 120 new teammates by the end of this 120 end of August. It's rebuilding team, because team makes it just like team and dream actually do rhyme. I keep thinking of that. Like, I don't know what saying I'm coming up with, but so 5 new teammates a month. That was my personal goal. Okay. More so than having, tons of customers, although happy customers do bring, our raving fan customers are 100 Club members. They had a really good experience. Someone shared the business and they're doing this. So if you could think in your head, Melissa, you've got to think, I'm not going to do their slow track. It's going to be harder. It's going to be slower. I want a team build. I need to explore. I just remember coming back after conference, and when I shared with people, like I was a sales coordinator, like not in POB. And people were supposed to join me. My house, that was a really hard thing. My house was in short foreclosure, and it went into short sale in the town that I grew up in, and everyone knew it. Why would they join Beth in this business? But I was literally on fire. I said this was going to get us out of it. This was the way out. This was the 6-figure legacy income. And when I started sharing with some of my friends, my best friend Stacy's like, Beth, our house is in foreclosure. I'm like, what? Like, she said, I've got to do this with you. And she signed on right away, because I just said, it is what it is, but we're going to do this. And she's like, what do you need? What do we need to do? And so you'd be surprised how that, I was just reading, I know there's messages, but I haven't sent it. So 5, okay, so team, and taking them through the system, building it, doing that why, but that's it. 5 people a month, 5 new team members a month. And, the company has it easy now on what they need to do to get to those positions. So as I'm sitting here, drawing on a paper, I put like my 5 stars. I don't know, mate, right now as a sales coordinator, if you've got 1, fill them in. And then your next goal is like, okay, they need to be qualified, and that's going to be a POB. And then who's going to be my next? Don't let teams stop you or scare you. It's the best thing ever. And you don't know who the team's going to be. The people that you think will do it, don't. The people that you don't think will do it, do. It's weird. Just embrace it. And you've got the best upline sponsorship. All right.
Wow, you got a lot of questions in there now.
Well, I'm not putting all
Maybe
you
all
don't
from
have-
Doug. Doug,
I
you
didn't
go.
know
Okay,
that you
do I
don't
need
have
to
to do
read
all those. I was going to let Sharon curate those, but
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
welcome to Beth.
let's go to the last one. How would you coach an SC who gets a lot of customers but struggles to bring on partners? I'm going to go backwards on these.
Okay, go ahead. And then I'll just spit them out.
Okay. How would you coach an SC who gets a lot of customers but struggles to bring on partners? Do you think it's a belief thing? Do you think they're just not thinking of building team, or they're scared, or they've been hurt?
Yeah, I think they're
what
in
do we-
customer mode. I think they're in customer mode. So we need to have a conversation about that. But here it is. How many customers do they have? Like, I'm just curious. Is this a question from Doug?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's say like 45 or 50 customers. They have a
Okay,
full
so
customer base.
if I were to look in that, I would say 1 out of 10 people would be a teammate. There's probably 4 to 5 people in there that are, so, um, I would go dive into that and say, let's talk about these people. Have we ever done any customer care together with them? Have we ever loved on them? Like who, if there was 5 people in here, even 4, God, I'll take 3, right? Like who would they be? Who do you want on your team? Let's talk about them and let's go and let's talk about some verbiage to say, listen, you love the product, your thing. I never really sat down and talked to you about this. I want you on my team. I love these quality sets about you. You know, when I talk about profiling and highlighting them, you know, will you come listen? Will you just come listen and be open to it? I think it will surprise you. It did me, you know, think about how much fun we can have, you know, so we dive into that right there because right there, those people already love Juice Plus. And I think if you can get some wins out of that customer base, it's going to excite you. As Jeff Robertis always says, new people bring you energy, and then you're going to get more confident and you're going to go out and share with other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you also are kind of referring, but not saying it, to the team sheet that you can kind of write out the people that you're thinking of and why they would be great for the business. What is it? Dream team
Yeah.
worksheets?
Yeah. Who do you want on your team? Yeah. And then talk to your upline about it. And they'll be like, okay, because it's just like you don't check in with your upline. Like you literally use it as like a strategy and a motivation and like okay, how's that sound? Why don't you do that? And then I'll get back to you. And they're like, okay. And when you do that, you're teaching them independence. So then they feel like they did it and you didn't go do it for them. They strategize with you. And sometimes people call and say, well, what would you say? And I say, well, let me do this. Tell me what you would say first.
I
Okay,
like
because you probably already know what you're going to say. And they're like, I would say this. I'm like, totally, you know this. And they're like, oh, I do know this. And then they feel confident. And it's just, they feel like that's creating an independent leader.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay,
Okay.
so Karen's wondering, how do you introduce the business to customers that aren't consistent with Juice Plus and they don't join in events and aren't open to education?
So probably right in the way, this is always something that you need to improve upon in the beginning as you get a customer. You want to let them know you love what you do. This is, you know, thank you for being my customer. I'm really honored. I'm excited to be a part of the Juice Plus company. You know, I want to take, my outcome is to take the best customer care of you. And I want you to know that through this experience, you know, that, you know, I always own it. And I want them to know that I'm proud of the business. They could be a team member of the business, you know, at any time too. I'd love to have the conversation with you about what our company does and how we need more partners. How we, you know, we really need more partners to lock arms with us and share this. Does this make sense to you? I'd love to share more, maybe on this journey with you about the business. Okay, so be open to that. And if you notice that someone's asking you about what's changing in your life or what you take, think in your brain, well, this could be an opportunity. Maybe I need to go back and talk to her about the business. Okay, so really go back and it's okay now with your customers to say, you've had a great experience. You know, I'm at a different level in a different place. I've decided that for my future, my retirement, I'm building into this company. We've been around a long time. I want to build a team of people and you're on my list. I mean, what are they going to say? You know, they're not going to say, no, you suck. I mean, I don't mean to say it bad, but it's like, they're
Right.
going to be honored.
Nothing to lose, only things to
Yeah.
gain.
So
Okay.
that's what it is. I own it in the beginning so back to Karen, make sure they know that this is a business and that you're happy to take care of them as they experience Juice Plus. Maybe some of that wording I said will help you keep
Okay.
that door
And
open.
Sharon, if you have any comments, you could speak up. Okay. So then I saw Doug mention social media. I think your social media has really gotten great over the last, year or two, or I don't know how long, but Beth is very good. You guys can follow her. I think it's just very vulnerable, transparent, not salesy. I mean, I haven't looked at all of her posts, you know.
Yeah, and on Facebook, I'm under Bethany instead of Beth.
Okay.
If you try to find me,
But I think she's really a good example of heartfelt posts and putting herself in the picture, right? And also posting about different things. So this one is about business posts. Doug says, I notice you share the business quite a bit on social media. Do you get some interest from those posts directly, or is it more for just general awareness?
It's a combination. I'll have people that say, I've been watching you for a while. I want to hear more about your business. I want to own it. I want people to know about it too. I mean, when I grew to NMD, there was no Facebook. Okay, Melissa. So just so you know, that was another thing. There was no
Right.
Facebook. It was, talking to people on the basketball courts on the side, developing relationships, always wanting people to feel comfortable with me. I think I go into social media. I never, it doesn't take me long to post. I literally just post what I feel. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's me. It's who I am. And it's fun. So I don't look at it as an effort because I'm done with it. There was no one there to pay my bills. We've had Eric's uncle used to call it, like rat poison and one of those things. And I thought, you know what? You're not paying our bills. This is our family. This is what, so don't tear down my beliefs and my community and, go after it. So we have to share that because you never know who's watching you. There's people that come out of the woodwork on there.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to dive a little deeper into that. So you're just basically you're posting, and I kind of do the same thing. So I can relate to that. Like if I have a thought, I'll just post that. If I'm thankful for this or that, I'll just go post that and not worry too much about what happens with it. Just kind of sharing. I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do on Facebook?
Yeah, but I have a lot of
Anyway.
I have some, I have team that really have a hard time. It's not their skill set. They have other skills. So for us, it comes easily. So it's something that, I say as even coming back from listening to conference of being a leader, which I think that what prevents people from moving forward in leadership is number one. I just was having this discussion with Eric. Your mindset has to change. Your mindset has to change. I find a lot of things that I do just the way I would do them. It's just the way I feel, but I've had the mindset has put me there that this is what I do. So if there's something you're hesitating on, you have got to go and look at what's blocking you. And it's something in your mind. Something in your mind is blocking you. So if it's posting, you're going to have to dig into that a little bit and talk and maybe do a posting challenge with your upline so you get over this stuff and realize the beautiful things that can come from it to make it fun. But if something's preventing you or you feel like you're not doing it, it's probably something in your mind. And it's such a mindset shift in this business, but it's so worth it.
I love that. I love that you brought that up. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the Drobes weekly check-in call, but I think it's like a Cortese thing where you guys all call each other or whoever you're working with.
Yeah.
Have a check-in call, but then there's also the Monday calls. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about.
Well, yeah, the Monday calls, things have changed. Like now we're plugging into corporate things. We have a team, we've had a team Zoom and that's just like to build community. But, corporate's really, I love how you said that. I've noticed that corporate, we've got this Luminate call with Regina Roberto, Lisa Pebble, and then, so let's plug into things that the company is doing that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. All right. So, but it's important for us to get on, do your building for it and really zone in on that week on what you're going to build for. So like next week, we are building for that Luminate call and that business call next week. All right. As far as constant contact, the people that you really are investing that are bringing you people to call and you really know and you believe in them and you guys got to work together. Those are the people that I make contact with. Now, I don't talk to Chris every day now because I'm like, I still call her and we still talk because we're doing leadership talking now. But she was there she believed in me 100%. She was my anchor. Like you got it. You can do this. Boom. It was done. So we did, you can't just talk to people. No one's going to move forward in this business if you talk to them once a week, honestly. If they really want to move forward, you've got to have some more communication. And so we try to, get them in that daily thing. And it's not like all these people I'm building a huge organization, and it's not like my phone's ringing all the time. I work with the workers, the ones that are calling me, the ones that I can get in the rhythm, the ones that are bringing me three-way calls, the ones that have questions, the ones that we're starting. And then they teach it to the next person. But you don't want to be calling people every day, bugging them. You want to get them into a rhythm and know what that looks like. It just takes time. I'm sure you all have experienced that with when you call Sharon or you call an upline, what that looks like.
Okay, so I've got the Illuminate flyer for you guys. I put it into Team Transformers Voxer. Doug says, as a leader, what does it look like? We are building for the Illuminate call next week. So are you on Voxer building for that? Or are you
Or
on?
is that are you saying we, like, do you
Like
coordinate your team?
our team. Yeah,
So as a
like
leader, how do you direct that?
I'll just say, like, I have a team chat. I have a little chat with our NMD team and leadership team, and then the people frontline working with me. And I'll say, this is where what do you guys feel? But I really feel our focus is like, this is something to take advantage of. I think, we need a focus that for this next week. We have long-term goals, short-term goals, monthly goals. Our weekly goal is Luminates out. We're sending out samples. We need to get people educated on it too. So let's focus, the ones I'm working with frontline that I am talking to, I say, let's focus on this as we're, doing things. This is like we have several focuses for the week. So that's what it looks like.
How do you?
So I start with the leaders and make sure they're on board, because if my NMD team isn't on board, it's not going to go down.
You have Monday calls with your leaders.
No, I don't. My leaders, I honestly, if we're lucky, if we do we do a 30-minute call once a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they're all.
So then, or what? How
Yeah,
are you?
how do I communicate? Yeah, we do have a little Voxer, and we have a text chat. But I know that, they're busy. I don't want, if they'll call me when they want to talk about something too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They know that as soon as the first person to touch base with me, and like, as you can tell probably from this, you got it. We're going to have clarity. You're going to move forward. Are you good? Is your brain in the right place? Boom, let's go. That's just how I operate. I'm not going to drag it on a long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I think that you have been amazing for us. And Tiffany, you can reach out to us on Voxer and we'll help you out. Anyway, I just love Beth's matter of fact. She's got her systems figured out.
I got one more thing. I just want to do this real quick before you finish. Do you sign up everyone, or just if they want to share? Great question. I had to answer that. I saw that pop up from Karen. No, I don't sign up everyone. Okay. Like, I have a conversation with them, and, I've never been a, sign up for a discount. I just haven't. I haven't. I'd rather them be a good customer and have a great experience, because if they sign up just for the order, they're going to lose track of their order. It's a mess. So what I do is I say things like, does this, I ask them questions. I got to find out about them. Does team building excite you? And they might, and, I say that, do you want to be a leader? Do you not want to be a leader? Do you want to just do customers? What does, how much money would put a smile on your face at the end of the month? I mean, like, you got to find out. But no, I don't just sign everyone up, because that's not our marketing plan. We are not the Costco. We're not that type of thing. It's not expensive to be on our product, to be on Juice Plus. It's affordable. You don't have to be a partner to get that discount. We're looking for people, but not to say, someone may say, it does make sense, Beth. I would like to explore the opportunity at some point. It might not be this month, but next month. But I really feel like this could be something for me, and we're going to have a further discussion. Someone like that I would bring on, and we do it, but not just for the discount. It's just not the.
Back and forth. Do you use any videos that are your favorites? I'm just going to ask that also.
Oh yeah, great question. I have, and we have a pretty big Gen Z group. Okay, so like the 18 to 24-year-olds, and guess what their favorite video is? Bridging the Gap. You
Is
would
it
never. Isn't that crazy? I love Gen
older
Z.
the
I
new?
love, huh?
Older the new, the 9 or 11 minute or 4 minute?
I think they do like the full one. They like to watch videos.
Wow.
I also like Jumpstart to Better Health.
Yeah.
I think that one's upbeat. So those are my two go-to videos, I would say, unless it's something specific. But most of the time, you guys, it's not, when someone asks me, it is not a text. I go right to voice and say, hey, I'm so glad you asked me about Juice Plus. Let me share with you. And I use my voice. I use my voice even on Messenger. If someone messaged me and said, will you tell me more about Juice Plus? I might send them the video, but they're going to hear my voice too, because it makes a difference.
Yeah. It's less cold, it's more warm.
Yeah.
Anybody else? That was like a real rapid fire session, right? So
Was it
good.
too rapid? That's how I do things.
I don't know. It was perfect. I'm sorry that not more came today, but we'll make sure it gets out far and wide, and we'll send it to you too. It is on YouTube under Team Transformers right now, since we are broadcasting live there, because we couldn't do it on Facebook. Anyway, okay, guys. Well, thank you. And I think we should take her suggestion, push for the Luminate, oh gosh, event Tuesday, April 30th. I put it in the chat. But right now also there is an event on Zoom with Carrie Nietko and I think it was Marty DeHaze about having a successful home event. And Melissa, I know we've talked about this over and over, so we all need to get on there and just see what they have to say. These people are all feeding into us. So appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Beth. We'll